Hey guys, PepperAmmy here. This week, if you cannot tell by the massive silicone mat, the box of flavourings and the pan, we are making peppermint humbugs. Now, I do plan on using these chili oils to make sweets sometime, but that is not this episode. Now, as a disclaimer for this recipe, if you are wanting to make this, you will need a way to handle molten sugar that is a way above boiling point of water. I recommend at least some gloves and either silicone or metal scrapers. Now I want to start by combining 450 to 500 grams of granulated sugar in a heavy bottom pan along with 150 ml of water and a quarter teaspoon of cream of tartar. And then, of course, you want to use a candy thermometer or a instant read thermometer that is capable of dealing with such heats. And you want to attach that to the side of your pan and then place on the hob and bring to the boil, and don't stir as this can cause crystallization. More on that later. Now, if you wish, whilst your syrup is coming up to temperature, you can use cooking spray or olive oil to slightly coat your cooking surfaces or tools and gloves if you wish. Now, as more disclaimers, this is where it gets really dangerous, as this will hold temperature around 100 degrees Celsius and it might start bubbling and spitting a little bit. And this will happen until the water is fully evaporated off, as the water can't pass 100 degrees Celsius. Then it's gonna climb even higher. Now, the sugar you want to get up to around 143 degrees Celsius or 290 Fahrenheit. And if this gets on your skin, it is gonna stick to your skin as sugar is sticky, and if you put cold water on it, all that's gonna do is harden it and completely cover your arm. I do recommend avoiding getting any of this near your skin while it is this temperature. Once it is up to temperature, you want to pour it on your prepared surface and let it cool slightly, making sure it doesn't run off the end of your table or anything and onto the floor. Now, once cooled, you want to add your peppermint oil. Now, you can add this sooner, but I found with some of the, cheaper oils, the more readily available ones, a lot of the flavour can evaporate off if the sugar syrup is too hot, as pouring any sort of liquid that contains water onto your sugar syrup when it is that hot will cause it to instantly boil off, which can cause some quite violent reactions. So I prefer to let my sugar syrup cool down slightly first. Then I am splitting my sugar syrup in half and using black food colouring to colour one half, and leaving one half clear for now. Now, I did go a little bit over the top with a black food colour, and if you have any left on your mat, use a paper towel to clean it off to make sure you do not contaminate your clear syrup. Now, I'm moving the black syrup to a preheated oven just to keep it warm. You want it around 150°C or even a little bit lower, just to keep it warm so it's easy to work. Now, to turn your clear syrup white, you want to work it by pulling it and folding it over on itself. By doing this, you are trapping hundreds or even thousands of air bubbles in it, and they're going to be reflecting the light, making the candy appear white, just like the head on a Guinness or a wave crashing on the beach does. Now, once it's white, you want to roll it into a log and optionally fold it over on itself. If you want to do it like I've done it, I've got some guidelines down the middle where I've just folded it for the black stripes, and then you want to set that to one side. And it was at this point I realised we have an issue. The black syrup has seeded and now cannot be used. Now, this can be caused by a few issues, but my money is on the food colouring I used, as that could contain sugar, or as I found out from my one, it contains citrus syrup, which could have caused crystallization, as this has happened to me before. Now, to save myself from this, I just cut my white strip in half and mixed in some different black food colouring that I conveniently had on hand, and mixed it the best I could. Now, sadly, it did come out grey rather than black, but that's because of the air bubbles that I've already mixed in. And then next you want to divide your black into 4 parts and roll it out the length of your white log. Now if it is starting to firm up a little bit, you can just put this back in the oven just to help soften it up slightly, as long as it doesn't melt, and then you're still fine to work with it. And then roll it and stretch it down. Then once it's all attached, you want to roll it together and then roll it into a uniform bite-sized kind of thickness. I did find I had to cut my half batch into 4 different logs just to make it easier to handle. And then using scissors, you want to make alternating cuts into the rope and let cool, and then if you want to store them, you want to use a airtight container and then enjoy. Now looking at my failed candy mix, you can see even cooled, this is very soft and crumbly, easily breaks by hand, and there is absolutely no saving it once it's got this far. But hey, we learn from our mistakes, and now I know not to use that food colouring for making candy. And that wraps up this week's episode. As always, if you enjoyed, let me know down below with a like and a comment. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe for free weekly cooking content, and I will see you all again next week. Thanks for watching.